Greetings. Today is September 17th. It's 11:32, and I'm here I felt really compelled to do another video blog. Right now we are approaching the fall or the autumn equinox, and this is always interesting when we have these shifts, solar shift, as we're going through right now, 4 times a year. We have the two solstices and the two equinox, and right now I almost like to look at it not as the 3 or 4 day period usually between the 21st and 24th, but really the whole month. When we look at it in that way, then in those months being September, we got December coming up, winter solstice, and then March and June. Usually at some point in this month, all of us, male, female, in the northern and southern hemisphere, the whole planet is affected. Of course, if we were to look at below the equator, they're now moving into their spring equinox. So the energy there is growing on a solar level. So why is this subject matter important? Well, for a number of reasons. A lot of you who may even be looking at this video right now you may be sick. You may be coming down with something. You may have already come down with something. And the thing is that we need to understand how the body heals, how the body maintains balance, how the body handles the cycles and the shifts that we are all subject to. Starting from the summer solstice, where we have the longest day of the year. Energetically, we are at our best. It represents a fullness. You can see in nature, just even really beginning from the spring equinox, we see spring just start to spring. Nature spring forth. The grass and the trees and the blossoms and just our energy. We're not really in touch with, at least most of us, from what I see, are not in touch with these shifts that happen. Yeah, we see it gets warmer, and then now we can feel that fall chill in the air. But what's happening to us energetically? Well, for one, the thing is, I've been seeing a lot of people, a good number of people being affected just in the last 2 weeks. And what I mean by that is, and even myself, but just to speak generally, for most people, again, you may be more prone, your body is going through some changes. We're all going through changes because the Earth and the planets and the whole universe is going through changes, specifically the Earth with the Sun. So with this shift, it's almost like, again, if we don't make adjustments as the sun and the earth is making adjustments, if we're not making adjustments along with the sun and the moon and the universe, then what's happening is that the body is something has to give. So for example, if we're used to eating certain foods, a certain amount of those foods, for the last 3, 6, 12 months, okay? Let's just say the last 3 months since the last shift. And if you think about how if the body is not healing and processing in the same way, then it has to create some sort of situation in order to deal with the change. So for example, if it's used to digestion 3 meals a day, or 2.5 meals, or 2 meals with snacks, or you get the picture in terms of how we bring in a certain amount of foods, and then we have to measure our activity with that as well, our level of exercise, or what we do or what we don't do. And with that, if we're bringing in the same level of food, then our body has to process it. And with that, whether it's um, whether it's very much healing food, like for example, a lot of greens and plant raw food, or if you're eating a lot of processed foods, processed starches with meats and dairies and things like that. It really doesn't matter so much if your body is used to that and into that rhythm. However, thing is that energetically our body has been weakened, and especially with this shift here, we keep doing the same thing, but our bodies energetically are not able to handle it in the same way. So for example, you may be more congested, as an example. The lungs represent a lot of open space. So, it just makes sense for the body to uh, throw toxins into that area, because again, there's like areas in the body where there's lots of concentration, and there's areas of the bodies where there's less concentration. So the body trying to always seek balance. So it's using the lungs as a detox vehicle. Again, the mat. This is there's pressure. There's pressure throughout the body, and the thing is that sometimes we have to release the pressure. And if you don't voluntarily do that through primarily eating less, you don't even have to necessarily go on a juice fast or a water fast. You could just eat less, cut your meal in half, or skip a meal, and you'll get similar healing benefits from just doing that. Because the thing is that our body is not healing and processing. It doesn't have the same vigor as it did 3 months ago. Okay, so we have to really, first of all, be in tune with these shifts, because the thing is that when we're not, then we fall victim to healing crises. And it is so we either have to consciously shut it down on some level, or tone it down, or our bodies will. Um, Other thing to realize too is that it's not just, like, say for example, congestions, or things that happen internally with the body. So you may have like nausea, headache, uh, um, just whatever your body throws at you in order to maintain that balance. But also, because energetically we're not, clicking on all cylinders, we may also be more prone to accidents. And so physically it could also, we because we're not as aware energetically, we could be more prone to accidents. We could be more, again, our minds are not as sharp. So it's again, we have to decrease not only our food consumption but also our level of activity. We should do things to make us become more aware. We should really sort of tone it down in terms of um, our activity, our physical activity, our mental activity. These things are important. So, also, I wanted to mention too, I've been practicing yoga about 12, 13 years, and probably in the last 4 to 5 years, I came into, for me, it was, quite amazing discovery. And, I often try to share this with people. you know, um, I practice throughout the year, but my practice is not always the same throughout the year. So, for example, this time of the year is, again, I just talked about how our activity should decrease, how our food consumption should decrease. Um, these things are important. Now, just to throw this at you, say for example, we're coming into, our fall and then winter months. If we had to, this is if we had a farm and if we were growing all of our own foods. One thing that would be really important. I mean, in order for us to survive and get through the winter months, we would have to find a way to preserve. This is a harvest season right now. Here in, if we lived, let's say in this, we weren't necessarily in a tropical region of the world. However, people lived in these parts of the world. We didn't necessarily have to live in tropics, even though I feel human beings certainly more suited for tropical, year-round 70, 80-degree weather. However, if you had to live in this sort of environment, and we do, and if we had to be totally dependent on our food, then what we would do, we would naturally have to eat less to get through the winter. We would harvest what we grow, whether it's vegetables, fruits, um, starches, things of that nature. We'd have to find ways to preserve it, and we'd have to ration that food in order to get through the winter. Okay, and then just with that whole process of rationing whatever it is that you're harvesting, then of course it would more than likely be less than what you're eating or how you would be eating while food is abundant and growing each and every day. So it falls right in tune with our cycle. We're not getting, each day, as each day progresses towards the winter solstice, the days are getting shorter. The energy is less. However, and this is something that I always talk about every year, we're going into our holiday season. Energetically, these are very sacred times of the year. Simply because, especially the winter solstices, because you have to imagine that the sun, in the northern hemisphere at least, is reaching its shortest time. And the thing is that, if electricity wasn't such a focal point in our lives, again, we would have very minimal activity. Our activity would be more in tune or more more in place with the sun's energy. And because it's not, we get so much stimulation from lights, from just electricity in general, computers, televisions, um, and everything that electricity generates. In terms of even when you go, especially when you go outdoors, you have street lights, you have buildings that are using electricity that's emitting energy. We got our smartphones, which is like, uh, usually on our actual physical body. So not only is that powered through or charged by electricity, it also has it's connecting to Wi-Fi and cellular networks. We got all of this activity that is actually stimulating us. And the thing is that we're really undoing the rest that we should be getting. We should be more in hibernation mode. Our activity should be less. Mental activity, our physical activity. And the thing is that what I've recognized, just even with my yoga practice, is that my healing time, when I do a hour, 2 hour practice, anybody who works out, don't have to be yoga. It could be running, it could be swimming, it could be whatever it is. Your healing time is different now than it was 3 months ago, 6 months ago. 6 months ago we had the spring equinox. 3 months ago we had the fall or the summer solstice. Okay, so in those times of the year, we can train more intensely and more frequently. And the thing is now, with the yoga practice, I realize that not only am I less flexible, my strength is not the same, and most importantly, my healing time is not the same. Where in the summer and the spring, it could take me a day or two to be ready again to stimulate my body with that physical and spiritual mental practice. It may take me a week. Now, it may take me 2 weeks before my body feels the need to go at it again. And we have to recognize this first and foremost. And then, secondly, we should, when we do this, we actually benefit on a whole, because just like, anybody who practices consistently at anything, when you're going at it 4 or 5 times a week, and then for whatever reason you say, okay, because obviously if you're going every day, every other day, the only rest that your body's getting is when you're sleeping. Sometimes you need beyond a 24-hour cycle, maybe even 48, or maybe even longer. And the thing is that sometimes, maybe just by accident, you let 3, 4, 5 days go by, and then you go back at it, and you're like, wow, I feel really good, and I could, your body feels much stronger than it would if you would have only rested 1 day or even 2 days. Sometimes it's necessary to not only take 2, 3 days off, but maybe even a month off, or at least a few weeks. And this again, I only realized this when when I was really intense with my practice. Of course, I was trying to make goals every every week, every month of the year, and realized that it was this time of the year where I was consistently like 3-4 years in a row, I would consistently get injured. And it wasn't like accidental. It was just that my body just needed a rest. And one year I said, okay, I mean, after 3-4 years in a row of this happening, I just went with it and said, you know what? I'm not going to do anything for the next 2 months. And for someone like myself who likes to train, who likes to work out, I've always been active most of my life. This was a change. This was something I just submitted myself to. And I just said, I'm going to let my body tell me when it's ready to work out. So it was right after, and this was about 4 or 5 years ago, it was right after the winter solstice. And my body got that itch. My body felt like, okay, it's time to work out. And of course, it took some time for me to sort of, after not being active for, it was at least a month. It might have been even 2 months. After a week or two of working or getting back to where I was, it didn't take very long for me to get back to where I was, when I was consistently working out. But I found after maybe about 4 or 5 weeks, I was already beyond where I was the whole previous year. And it was simply because of the rest that I took, that 1 to 2 month rest. So for all you yogis out there, I would encourage you to, modify your practice throughout the year. Between winter solstice and summer solstice, you can afford to practice 4, 5, 6 times a week. Okay, but between the summer solstice and the winter solstice, especially let me say this, the fall equinox, the time we're in now, and the winter solstice, once a week, once every other week, or maybe even once a month. Again, listen to your body, and your body really determines, will tell you what it can do. And the thing is that if you just like to practice, you don't have to practice. You can do more of a yin or lunar or more meditative type practice, where something is very gentle on the body, something where you're connected with more breathing activities, something that's not as stimulating to the body as, like, say, a strong solar or yang practice, if I could use those terms. So I think you get the idea. So the thing is like, all in all, if you're sick right now, you gotta tone it down. This is the time of the year to eat less, do less, think less, because the thing is that it's like, I mean, we're like a tool or instrument or a vehicle. We're no different than like all the physical objects around us, and just like these things need maintenance, these things need rest, these things need recuperation time. We need recuperation time, and see, people are only connected to largely the daily cycle. We're programmed. We're most of us, most of the time, do go to sleep at night, and we're certainly, we may go out and things of that nature, but we all need our rest within a 24-hour cycle, where we actually just lay down and get that rest and recuperation. But we need that sort of rest and recuperation, certainly on a weekly level, a monthly level, but definitely on a solar level, where we have these 4 shifts throughout the year. And when we're connected to this, and we understand that we should sort of, when to go hard, and then when to bring it back, we become more efficient. We actually get more done within a 12-month cycle than people who are not really in tune. People may be trying to do more now when it's not ideal to do certain things, to begin. Certain people may be beginning a new project right now, which is like just totally not ideal in a sense. We have to understand that we're connected. We're a microcosm of the macrocosm. The macrocosm being this whole galaxy that we're a part of. And we're here on planet Earth, and specifically we're in the, most of you probably watching this are in the northern hemisphere, like myself, and we're connected just as nature is. As we have basically the energy is waning. The energy is decreasing, is pulling back. The sap in the trees is going. You see the leaves turning, and the sap is retreating back to the root, back to rest. Our bodies, our minds, our spirits are all affected. So the thing is that when we're aware of these things, then we can be more in tune. We can still work and get things done, but just understanding that we're not completely at our 100% best. So we shouldn't take on things. So it will help in planning. It will help in just efficiency, overall efficiency, and just moving through your cycles of life. But it's also in the long run going to benefit your health and vitality as as we continue to age. So the thing is that if we're constantly just like, great example, always a great analogy is automobile, car. If we're able to, when we follow the maintenance schedule, when we do the necessary maintenance, the oil changes, the all of the different intangibles that come with a automobile, especially at certain times of the year. They have like the winterization of a car, and and certainly what you do in the winter it may be different than what you do in the summer, and the like. So same with your house. You winterize your house. You do certain things. You get certain things prepared in your house. We have to do certain things with our bodies, in terms of, and specifically in terms of this video, our level of activity. With electricity, and with other different resources that allow us to sort of not feel the effects so much of the natural temperate changes that is happening. We sort of are disconnected, and this is not always a good thing. This is something that we need to understand that these changes, even though like even now my house is probably 70-75 degrees, outside is like 50 degrees. Okay, so it's important that we understand, or we stay connected, even though we're somewhat disconnected. We're not sleeping outdoors. We're not daily foraging for our food. We're not hunting for water. We're not doing any of these things because we don't have to. We have modern conveniences, but at the same time, we can't let all of these conveniences become inconvenience, in the sense that, just what I spoke about earlier in terms of food. Of course, it's, I mean, everyone eats every day of the year, and they could eat pretty much what they want. Even if you're not financially well off, people are going to eat. Um, we just have food easily at our disposal. This is a modern convenience that has become, or that has made it inconvenient in terms of our health and vitality. So that's probably one of the best examples where a convenience has made it inconvenient. So we have to raise our consciousness. We have to raise our awareness in terms of what nature is about, in terms of connecting or staying connected in little small ways. We can do this. And just understanding now is that time of the year. We need to slow it down. We need to tone it down. We need to use this time to become more reflective. Now is the time to really reflect on the previous year and use it more as a analysis, so that we can be prepared for when the cycle begins to shift in the other direction, so that we could be more efficient. We can capture that growing energy. Right now, it's almost like a dying energy. It's an energy that, like I said before, it's waning. So when the energy becomes a waxing energy, when the sun is waxing, in that growth stage, then that's when it's time to take on new projects. It's time to try to maximize our efforts. If you're into yoga or working out, it's time to really use that time, to really grow your practice, or to grow whatever it is you're doing. Also, in terms of food and or fasting and feasting, we can get away with doing more feasting. Now is the time where we focus on more fasting, just on a 12-month cycle. So these are all things that and I've just with my own life and my own experiences, I've come to know, and I just felt compelled to share this, because the last thing you need to be doing is blaming this on some type of foodborne illness, like some kind of mysterious germ, some kind of thing that may have happened because of all the various um, ideologies they got out there in terms of understanding, or the misunderstanding of sickness and health. Again, where our body is constantly trying to maintain balance and harmony, and if we keep doing the same things when our body is not equipped to handle the same thing, then something has to give. Something has to adjust. And a lot of times it has to throw stuff at you to allow you to stop, to basically cut your appetite. And I gotta say too, even uh, my with my work demands, I can't necessarily afford to tone it down for work, but at least with my yoga practice, my yoga has been pretty much once a week or once every other week this time of the year. But my appetite naturally starts to wane. Um, I haven't ate like a real meal. I think the last meal I ate, when I say meal, I mean like where I'm really doing like heavy fats and proteins, nuts, seeds, green leafy vegetables, avocados, just like a real, big, like a nice raw food meal. I pretty much am, last 2 days, mostly juice, fruit. Um, uh, yeah, that's about 80-90% of my diet right now, because I'm just not really hungry or feeling the need to have a big meal or a solid meal that's going to take a lot of energy to break down. I've also found myself having to take naps throughout the day. If I can find an hour just to take a nap, um, through the mid through at some point in the day, I find that to be necessary too. So again, I can feel the shift. I can feel the change. I could feel it, with my diet, my food consumption, um, and I also have, again, these little adjustments make a huge difference. So I just hope you got something out of this video. Just looking over my notes here, I pretty much covered what I was looking to cover. I hope I presented it in a way. If you have questions, comments, please comment below, and I will see you next time. Thank you for tuning in.